product of Delta Electronics. So before I start today's presentation, I would like to thank all of you for your time for joining the webinar today. My sound is not clear. Is this better? Please let me know. Vintelli. Just hold on. As you can hear me clearly, right?
Your sound is not clear. I can hear you.
Okay. Only just hold on. Is this better, Vintelli?
Excuse me.
Is this better, Vintelli?
Your sound is not clear.
Okay, just hold on. I try to adjust the microphone. Maybe from your side, do you mind if you mute your microphone and see whether it's better, because there's a lot of feedback from your side. Okay, is it better, Vintelli?
No, it's not.
Charles, can you hear me clearly? Because currently there's one attendee, Mr. Vintelli, who is not hearing quite clearly.
For me, it's okay, but I think they mention it's a little noise when you speak. I think they mentioned about this.
Okay, let me see. I try to mute everyone. Okay, I think it should be better. Mr. Chow, is it better? Just hold on, let me change the microphone. Okay, thank you. Okay, I think I have to mute everyone in attendees. I'm so sorry. Later, if you have any questions, please raise your hands. Then I will try to answer the questions. So let's start. So as I've mentioned earlier, so thank you all for your time today, because I know some countries is actually a public holiday there. So I try to not take up too much of your time. So give me about 40 minutes and give me about 10 to 15 minutes for some Q&A, and also I hope that during the end of the webinar you can help me to do some survey that I would like to understand more about your market and the type of VFD or the brand of VFD that you normally use in your market. So today my main agenda is so my last webinar I actually introduced to all of you my M300 series VFD from Delta Electronics. So today I'll be going through the C2000 series. Just hold on. Hi, is this better?
Yeah, speak for.
Okay, thank you. I think I should stop using the microphone. I'll use the computer microphone. Right. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so basically today this one if you have looked at my M300 series PowerPoint webinar, you'll know that actually for Delta, what I would like to actually let you know is that we are not new to this inverter market. We have been in the inverter market for 5 years. Just hold on. From your side, please help me to try to mute your microphone if you can, because I'm hearing a noise from my side. Okay, I will continue. So for Delta, we have been spending more than 20 years
developing a VFD. I would say we are one of the main players in the market. We actually have over 20 million units of cumulative sales of Delta inverters globally since our launch of our first inverters 25 years ago. So today I'll be actually talking about our C2000 series. That will be my main focus for today. Okay, so let me introduce you, all of you, to the C2000 series for those who are not familiar. So basically, when you look at our Delta Electronics C2000 series, you'll realize that we will actually have many different families of this C2000 series. So of course, the main one will be the C2000 series, which is actually a general drives control application. Then we also have the CP2000 series, which is actually more for the fan and pump, as you can see from the P. Then we have the CFP2000, which is the same, more or less the same as the CP2000, but it actually has a high P protection rating and certain differences, which I will actually go into in my later slides. And we also have the CT2000 series. The T represents that is for the textile industry. And we also have the CH2000 series, which is for the heavy load applications. Okay, so this is just like a simple glance for all of you to actually just have a look at to understand what is the main difference between all the different series. But today my main focus will be the C2000, CP, and the CFP 2000 series. Okay, so how does the power range look across all these different series? This is how it is. You'll realize that actually for the C2000 and CP2000, they actually cover the widest power range. And for the CFP2000, you can see that it has a higher IP rating for some specialized application. At the same time, you realize that the power rating does not cover that much, but there is certain features that is built into the CFP2000 that some customer may need. And as I've mentioned, the CT and the CH, which is for specialized application, the CT will be for the textile, the CH will be for the high load applications. Okay, let's look more into our C2000 series VFDs. So basically, for the C2000 series, I try to make it simple for all of you. So basically, there are 4 key features that I would like all of you to understand about our C2000 series drives. So number 1 is the high performance of these drives. Number 2 is versatile drive controls. Number 3, the environmental adaptability of the C2000 drives. And number 4, the modular design of the C2000 drives. Okay, when I talk about high performance, so these are the main things that I would like to emphasize. I would like all of you to remember, or you can take away from this webinar about the C2000 drives. So there is a high bandwidth control. It can actually do speed, torque, and position control mode. It has dual rating design, so it can actually run at a normal duty mode. At the same time, you can also use it for heavy duty applications based on the overload capability of the C2000 drives. It can do 4 quadrant torque control and limit, and it can be used for both synchronous and synchronous motors. When I talk about versatile drives control, these are the things that actually would like all of you to actually understand. What do I mean by versatile? It has a built-in safe stop function. It has a built-in PLC function. It has a built-in brake unit too. And it supports various network protocols, which I will go into. And also it can do a positioning control. And for environmental adaptability, for our C2000 drives, it can go up to 50 degrees Celsius operating temperature. For very specialized applications, or there are applications where you need to have better harmonics, you can actually add on a DC reactor. You can also add on the EMC filter. All our VFD drives, we actually code our circuit board, so can use it for harsh environments. And we also have all the required international safety standards, which we actually have for our VFD drives, like the CEUL standards. And the last one I would like to actually mention, which is about the modular design. When I say modular, which means that you can actually add on a lot of different cards, or I would say modules, to this VFD. And the LCD panel is actually hot pluggable, which is the same as the M300 series, which means that you can actually locate the LCD panel onto your LCD keypad onto your panel, or actually at a location far away from your VFD. We have the I/O extension cards, we have various PG feedback cards also, and also we have network cards. As I mentioned, it can actually support various network protocols. And for this, for simple uh, maintenance, I would say for simple checking, you can actually, our fan is actually removable. Okay, so these are some of the main key features that I would like all of you to actually remember from my C2000 drive. So first is that it is a high performance field orientated control. So basically the field orientated control plus the PG mode, as I mentioned, you can add on a PG card, can actually output 150% of starting torque, which means you can overload it at up to 150% of starting torque at extremely low speed for very precise and stable speed control. So this is something that you can actually look at. So and another one which I've mentioned is that you can actually do very precise positioning and speed control, which is very ideal for printing machines. Okay, and another one which I would like to mention is that there is a fast response to impact loading. So during load changes, this C2000 series can actually calculate the required torque response. So it can minimize the vibration. It can also caused by the load impact using field-orientated control. Okay, just now, as I've mentioned about the flexibility, how does it work? So this is more or less the view of a C2000 drives. So you can see that the keypad is actually removable. So you can actually house this keypad far away from the drive, and you can actually connect the keypad to the VFD using a standard RJ45 network cable. So that is the one of the feature of this VFD. So the nameplate is on the, if you look at the VFD from the front, is on the right bottom side at the side of the VFD, where we actually have a very comprehensive product nameplate which shows the input output voltage, the input output current, the frequency rate, range, and everything. So another one, if as I've mentioned earlier, will be the modular fan design, which means the fan is removable. So it's easy to replace. If you want to do cleaning, you do not need to actually find, it's not very hard to do a cleaning. You can remove it to do the cleaning. It actually extend the product life and for very easy maintenance. And you can also, so you can see the RFI jumper is here. And also there is a removable safety screws to remove this cover. So it's very easy for installing different modules into the C2000 drives. So just now, as I mentioned, when I say that you can install a lot of different modules, so this is more or less you can see what you can actually add on. So basically, I would say that our C2000 drive is very scalable and it has a very extensive setup. So you can see you can add the different PG cards, encoder card. You can add on the I/O extension. And if you need to, you can also add on a 24 VDC power card, or I would say a power shift card. There is also a relay extension card, and also the different communication cards, which I will go through the different types of various protocols or high-speed networks that these C2000 drives can work with. There is also the removable fan, and this is the power indicator. And we also have the terminals which are removable. So if you want to do maintenance or you want to do wiring, you can actually do the wiring first and actually replace the terminals easily. And there you can see the analog I/O switch is on here. And also you have the dual RJ45 communication port, which have two RJ45 communication ports, and there's the termination resistor, which is here. Okay, so when I mention various protocols, so these are some of the various protocols that we can support. So we actually support, if you are using a Siemens PLC and you actually need the VFD to work with Siemens setup, we have Profibus. For people who are working on a normal Modbus TCP IP, we also do support, and we actually have built-in Modbus protocol like RS485, and also we support Ethernet IP. We also support CANopen, and for our C2000 series, for people who are actually using it for HVAC applications or for building automation applications, and we also have the device net protocol which you can add on. So it actually, for C2000 series, you can see our flexibility, the capability of our C2000 series to work with different networks, and also if you just want to add on or actually just want to improve the current performance in your setup, we are also able to do so with our various communication protocols. So this is some of the high-speed network that we can work on. So just to actually give a general idea on how it works. So for CANopen, so this will be, you can actually have add on this distribution box for long distances. It can go up to 100 meter. And depending on the speed, I would say the communication speed of the CANopen protocol that you're using, you can actually vary the distancing of your drives from each other. So it supports, for us, you can actually control up to 8 slave drive using the CANopen master function in our VFD, C2000 VFD. It can support all the Delta industrial automation products. So we actually have the built-in EDS files for all Delta industrial automation products. So it's easy for you as a customer to actually provide a full solution to your customer too. We also have the I/O data configuration for each device on the CANopen network. You can also do some simple motion control with our PLC function in our VFD drives. And the software that you'll be using will be the WPL soft. So something that I would say which is good for Delta Electronics and for you as our customers is that we do not charge for our software. So you can actually go to our website to actually download all our software. And we actually provide regular updates through our website too. We also support a device net. So as I've mentioned, for building applications, device net is very, I would say a very common, or I would say the more popular protocol. We also do support a device net, and we have the device net layout software, easy for you to do your setup, for you to do your installation and to do the programming. And we also have the I/O data configuration for each device on the device network, device net network. And the other one will be Ethernet IP. We also do support. And the next one will be Modbus TCP. So for our Modbus TCP, we actually have the Delta software for these Ethernet or Modbus TCP products. And it's based on a graphic module setting and a very user-friendly interface. And we also support a virtual COM setting. Just hold on, there's a Q&A. Okay, just now, as I've mentioned, the Ethernet, just hold on, let me go back. Okay, so basically, if you look at our setup here, this is to answer the Q&A question, someone who have raised this question. Our RJ45 COM port, we have a dual COM port which is built in here. So Ethernet IP is built in here. So please take note. But when I say RJ45 is a communication port, but the protocol I need to check, I will let you know later. But we actually have the comms port built in. Okay, so another key thing that I would like to actually let you all know is actually we have a PLC built in. So our PLC, the steps is actually, to me, I actually feel, in my opinion, is quite substantial. It actually has 10,000 steps for PLC function. So it actually allows our customer, value customer like you, to actually do distributed control and independent operation, even without a PLC. So this is something that is very unique to us. At the same time, our C2000 series can actually function as a master. So you can actually use our C2000 with the PLC function as a master to actually control slave drives down. As I've mentioned, you can control up to 8 slave drives doing that. So you can actually do more synchronous control or even fast data exchange using this CAN open network. And you can actually see how our programming is being done. So it's the standard ladder program, which you can actually do simple programming on the keypad. As you can see, our keypad is quite big, but at the same time, you can also use our WPL soft to actually do more complicated programming. Okay, so just now I've mentioned our keypad is large. So this is just idea of how our keypad looks like. So basically, we actually have a multi-column display for the drive status. So you can actually, with a larger screen, you can actually see more information. So it's a very simple and intuitive operation. And at the same time, we actually have a lot of user-defined parameter groups, which we actually built into our keypad.
Oh ya, tapi sing iku apa jenenge?
Please try to mute your microphone. I'm sorry. And for our 2000 VFD drives, we have the RTC, the real-time clock and calendar function. So you can actually do programming based on the actual timing of your local place where you set up this VFD. We also have different languages. I do not have the list of languages that we support at the moment, but I can let you know the different languages that we support. You can actually use with our keypad. We also have this copy function, which saves parameters. You can actually do your own user-defined parameters also. And also we can have up to IP66 protection level for our VFD C2000 drives. Something that is very interesting to us is that some of the customers, they may actually want to modify how does the layout of this screen looks like. So you can actually create your own homepage logo. So you can actually put your company logo onto these VFD drives if you want. And you can also do it's an editable message display and also editable chart display. So you can actually do your own customized screen for your customers. Okay, so this is some other functions that we actually have built in to our C2000 drive. So we have this deceleration energy backup. So this function actually controls the motor deceleration to stop when the power blinks off. The main thing, actually VFD drives normally will be paired with motor. So the key thing about the VFD, one of the key functions is that we need to actually prolong the lifespan of the motor. At the same time, if there's any issues with the electrical current or electrical surge, you actually protect the motor itself. So this deceleration energy backup actually helps to prevent mechanical damage and then accelerates to its original operation speed when power resumes. So this is something, so there's an unexpected power shutdown. We actually, with this function, it protects your motor, and after the whole system has been restarted, it will actually return back to its original settings. Okay, so another key thing with Delta Electronics, as you know, Delta Electronics, we are a green company, and traditionally, or I would say that permanent magnet motors, they are more energy efficient. So for all of Delta new drives, we do look at to the future, we do support permanent magnet motors. So in applications where you are using a normal induction motor, we do support, but for even up to the point where you need to actually control a permanent magnet motor, this function is, I would say this capability is built in without additional cost. And we also have a dual mode drive, so you can control not only one, but both an induction motor and also the permanent motor. Okay, so another one is other than our drives, we also have these REG 2000 series, which you can actually add on to our drives. So you can actually use it for very, I would say, high load applications like crane and hoist applications. And you can actually use a 4-quadrant operations and achieve energy savings results. So this is something which you can add on to our C2000 drives with our RG 2000 series. Another one is if there are certain customers who actually require very high energy savings, just hold on. Okay, very high energy savings, or you need to actually make sure that the harmonics is very low, you can add on our active front end unit to our C2000 drives to actually achieve this, I would say, power quality improvement. Okay, so this is something that with the AFE 2000, other than actually having a better harmonics, a better power quality, one thing, it actually helps to replace the traditional brake resistor. It reduces heat regeneration. When you reduce the heat regeneration, it actually prolongs the lifespan of your VFD. And also another one is if you replace, you do not need to use so many brake resistor, you actually save cost. And so with the AFE, you can support 4-quadrant operation with variable frequencies and adjustable system. And also there is a constant DC bus voltage. So it's not I would say that you actually protect your motor, protect your VFD from voltage fluctuations. And with the AFE, you can actually achieve a lower or even equal to 5% total harmonics distortion. And the power factor increases by almost more than 20% when you use a AFE unit with our C2000 drives. So this is something that I would like to go through. This one later is for the CP and CFP 2000 series. Before I actually continue, I would actually like the attendees to actually help to do some polling. Let me see whether I can actually just hold on. Okay, maybe I will give all of you around 5 minutes to actually do the polling. Charles, can you see the polling?
Not yet. Actually, you can just start a polling and then leave it and then continue. The polling will continue.
Oh, okay. So I will just leave the polling. Okay, then
Yeah.
I will just continue. So basically, this is about our C2000 drives in a very, I would say, very simple terms. But if you have more technical questions or anything, you can actually email me. Later, we will actually upload these PowerPoint so that at the end we will have there is my email, and also you can look for me or look for Ifer, whose email is actually at the end of this webinar, which we also provide you with this webinar recording, which you can actually listen to it during your free time. So this is about the C2000 series. After our C2000 series, if you remember, for C2000 series, we also have the CP and CFP 2000 series, which I would like to actually also introduce a bit to all of you. Okay, so for C2000 series, we are actually I would say is more for general usage, a wide power range, but we actually have a two series, I would say two series of the C2000 family, which I call it the CP and CFP 2000. So very simply, CP means is for the fan and pump industry. CFP is also, we actually dedicate it for the fan and pump industry, but it has a higher IP rating. Later, I will show you the main difference between these two. So basically, this CP and CFP 2000 series, what is the difference between this, our general C2000 series, is that beside whatever you see in the C2000 family features, these are things that we actually add on. So basically, there is a built-in backnet. Okay, so for building automation applications, with the backnet protocol, or I would say the system is already up and running and you need to integrate it into your backnet network, we have this built-in backnet protocol into our CP and CFP 2000 series. And we also have various control modes as I have for fan and pumps application. As I've mentioned, CP and CFP 2000 was developed for the fan and pump industry, I would say the HVAC industry in particular. So there are various control modes for these industries, such as a PID mode, sleep or wake up function, flying start, and skip frequency. And if you have remembered in my M300 series webinar, you realize that for fan and pump industry, normally you do not only use one pumping in a large application usage. You might have many pumps, and we actually have these multi-pumps synchronous control for our CP and C2000 CFP 2000 series. So you can actually control up to 8 motors, 8 pumps or 8 motors at one time with either a fixed amount, which means based on the constant pressure mode, or you can actually do on a fixed time circulation, which you can actually vary the duration of each motor you want to run for your application, up to 8 motors at one time. And the main difference I would say between this CP and CFP 2000, if you remember my power ratings, if I go back to my first slide, you'll realize that CP is actually has a very wide power range. So CP, just hold on, there's a question. Okay, for about the core, I will actually answer your flying start and skip frequency control mode offline. I will. Okay, so if you look at the CP series, you realize that the power range is wider, but for the CFP, is actually only up to 90 kilowatts. So please take note, this is the first main difference between CP and CFP. Another one would be the rating, the IP rating. And also for the CFP 2000, one of the key difference is that the CFP 2000 has built-in EMC filter and DC choke. What do I mean by built-in? Which means that any model that you choose from the CFP 2000 series, the EMC filter and DC choke is built-in. Okay, so now let's have a more in-depth look into the CP 2000 and CFP 2000 series. So before I continue, just remember CP and CFP 2000 series, they are dedicated. I would say we actually developed them with special functions for the fan and pump industry. And also it has all the C2000 series key features also. Okay, so basically just a simple glance. What is the main difference between, just hold on. For the polling, I actually have already sent a polling, but if you cannot see it later, we can settle. To me, that is not the key thing at the moment. So let's have a look at the key difference between CFP and CP 2000 series. So I try to summarize whatever I can. So as I've mentioned, first thing for CP 2000 series, so it's for panel using only. So which means that you need to house the CP 2000 series into a panel that is the recommended, I would say the recommended usage to use it in a panel, because the IP rating is not as high as CFP 2000. It's only an IP20 and IP00. So please take note of this. But for CFP 2000, if you want to use the VFD for the water or pumping industry and you do not want to house in a panel, we have IP55 for non-panel usage, and also we have IP41 for panel usage. So that is one of the main difference. Another one, if I've mentioned, is the power range. CFP is only until 90 kilowatt, please take note. But for CP2000, you can look at the wide power range that it can actually support. Okay, another one is some of the customer, they may want to have a main switch on the VFD. So for CFP 2000 is available for the IP55. Okay, but there is no such option for the CP 2000. Okay, this is something that I would like to mention. For CFP 2000, whichever power rating that you actually choose or whichever model that you choose from the catalog or you actually recommend to your customer, it all comes with a built-in DC reactor. To say so, CP 2000 is optional, but is only for frame D and above. Okay, please take note. Another one is the built-in EMC filter. So the first thing is this. For CFP 2000, all power rating has a built-in C2 filter, and the drive can meet C1 rating with a zero phase reactor. But for CP 2000, there is an optional built-in of a C2 filter up to 37 kilowatt for 460 volts. So please take note of this. Okay, Something that I've mentioned for Delta Electronics is that we do PCB protection coating for all our VFD. So this for CFP and CP2000 both have a 3C3 rating. And the other one, which is I've mentioned, operation temperature. So you can look at the main difference for CFP 2000 because of the better, I would say, IP rating. You can actually go up to 50 degrees Celsius without derating. Please take note of this. Okay, so this is at one glance. So if so that you will understand what is the main key features of the CFP 2000 series. So power range from 0.75 to 90 kilowatt. Input rated voltage is not that wide, also is only from AC 380 to 480 volt at 3-phase. But the thing is, it has built-in DC choke, it has a built-in EMC filter, and it fulfills a C2 or C1 rating based on the different models and also based on how you use it. And we also have IP41 model for panel using, IP55 model for non-panel using. And another one with the built-in DC choke and the built-in EMC filter, we can actually achieve a total harmonics distortion, which is lesser than 48%. So we actually comply to this IEC 61000-3-12 standard. And also everything is the same. We have IO terminals and optional cards for the CP2000. And we have the overload capability. So please take note at this overload capability. So for low duty, 120%, up to 60 seconds overload. Normal duty, 120% at 60 seconds or 150% at 3 seconds. Built-in main switch for CFP, as I've mentioned. And also, this is the key thing. We have built-in safe talk off, the STOs up to a SIL2 safety rating. We also have a built-in backnet for all our CP and CFP series. Okay, so some of our CFP sample applications you can see. So for this is just recommended, it's not limited to this. So you can see that our CFP we actually dedicate it mainly for fan and pump industry. So you can be using it for HVAC applications such as cooling pump, circulating pump, or even fan applications or compressor application. If you talk about water treatment, so you can water supply, so supply and water treatment. You can actually use it for our CFP 2000 for the water pumps, water circulating such as cooling applications or even for constant pump applications for chiller such as spray pump and water pump, and also for the thermodynamic for heating applications like the pump for water supply. Okay, so basically for the M300 and C2000, as I've mentioned, so C2000, if you look, one is the difference in size. M3000, okay, please look at the power rating. The power rating is power range is very different. So for C2000 series can go up to 630 kilowatt, and also another one is I would call the M300 as a low voltage drives. But for C2000 application, it can go up all the way. So for me, if you really want to look at how it is like, I would say the MH will be closer to the C2000 drives for the M300. But if you are looking just for very simple control like packaging machines, conveyor belt usage, M300 will be sufficient. Or even for very simple, I would say you cannot do much positioning control with M300. So please take note of this. And also the IP rating, please take note. So for C2000, you can look at the IP rating, which is a bit different from like, for example, CFP, CP, you look at the IP rating, it goes up to IP55. We do not have that for our M300 series also. Maybe in my next webinar, I can actually make comparison between the M300 and the C2000 so that it will become clearer. All right. Okay, so let's look at some C2000 series applications, which means what we can do. So this is something that I have made out. So I didn't put CT here because I would say textile industry is not prominent in most countries, but please remember CT is for the textile industry, but the rest is actually more or less common throughout all the different countries. So C2000, we will use it for general drives such as a conveyor, machine tooling, or even oil and gas when you use it for those oil pumps. And look at the power range, it goes up from 0.75 to 630 kilowatt. All right. So for CP and CFP, I would say they are actually sort of the upgraded version of C2000, but more dedicated for the fan and pump industry, such as applications for HVAC, chillers, as I've mentioned earlier. For CFP 2000, only go up to 90 kilowatt, and CP is the same as a C2000. Okay, and the other one, which I will actually go through a bit in my next webinar, if you do attend, will be this CH, with the H means heavy load. You can use it for crane, for hoisting application, for punching machines. It's from 0.75 to 355 kilowatt. So, so today, these are the main three, I would say the C2000, just a general introduction, and also, just hold on. I would like to go through some successful case studies of how our C2000 series actually help our customer to actually give them value added advantages. Okay, so one is we are looking at the steel industry. So basically, you can see our customer, they are using a Siemens PLC. So when you use a Siemens PLC, one of the key thing, I would say the headache issue, I would say the headache for customers when they use Siemens PLC is that they actually want to integrate different product lineup into their solution. And it becomes troublesome for them because Siemens, they are using their own dedicated protocol. It's not so flexible. They are using Profinet and Profibus. But something that is very interesting, as I mentioned, we are very, Delta Electronics, we are very flexible. With an additional communication card, we can actually communicate based on the Profibus network with the Siemens PLC. We actually, for lift application, we have a dedicated this one we can discuss we have a dedicated one we can actually discuss further. If you can send me an email, we can actually look at lift applications if you want to. All right. Okay, so basically when we look at this steel industry, it's actually for the electromagnetic stirrer solution which we provided to our customer. Okay, so this is the customer need. So the customer needs is that at high temperatures, the liquid steel is actually laddered into casting channels. Then they will actually process these liquid into the steel that you see that you use. Just hold on. Okay, so basically for customer needs, so this is the main thing. So liquid steel is laddered into casting channels and you process it into steel, the steel that you see in your everyday life. So basically to make a good quality steel, you must actually remove the internal impurities and also make sure that the temperature is at the correct temperature when you do this stirring. So basically the customer, what they want is they want to reduce the cost of this establishment, and they also want to solve this issue of current imbalance, because when there's a current imbalance, the temperature is unstable, and also they want to have a better quality product. So they need to actually make sure that this process is very efficient. So what is our solution? So our Delta VFD CP2000 series, we actually use our efficient and variable drive to control the current, frequency, and electromagnetic force of this electromagnetic stirrer. So we can actually provide an even stirring, so that what do we mean? The temperature is more constant. It actually helps to improve the quality of the steel. We also have the multifunction and integrated electric meter. So actually, if you want, I think Charles, who is the control product manager, if you want, you can actually check with him. We actually do also provide a power meter. So with our own power meter, we can actually monitor the voltage and current output of this equipment and input voltage to make sure that it's operating to the best specification. And also we help our customer. We provided a technical support. We develop a customized software to actually use a special logic control to improve the issue. Just hold on. Yes, Norman, you can actually just hold on. Okay, if I can't find your name, but okay. Yes, Norm, do you have any questions or anything? Okay, if not, I will just continue. So, so this is something that we actually help to improve this process, and at the same time, the system was already there. You need to integrate with the existing system. So we actually work with helping them to integrate with our additional comms card. It makes it easy to integrate. So this is the benefit we actually provided the customer. We help to integrate the Delta Drive technology, and also with the customer self-developed stirring control to give a competitive solution to improve the quality of steel for our customer, for better profitability and also improve efficiency. Okay, the next one would be the something that I would like to mention. That is the HVAC cooling tower in a textile factory. So of course, this is not for the textile machine. We are not using the CT, but this I'm talking about the HVAC cooling tower. So this is the customer needs. So let's have a look. What does the customer need? So they want to manually check and compare the inside and outside temperature and humidity values with setting values, and they want to adjust it manually. Because they are having different seasons and they don't have a monitoring system, so they want to actually, this is actually what they need, and they also want to have a driving control system for the return air supply and the supply air and the outside air to adopt pneumatic control. So this is what we do. We actually help them by adopting 3 smart water temperature control and methods, and also instead of the traditional method of loading and unloading based on the temperature difference, we actually help them to actually utilize this method of load control to keep the equipment in stable operation. And also for us, we also have this AH series, which you can actually pair. So if you use our VFD with a Delta own PLC, the integration is very simple because the drivers are already built in, and it's very easy for the integration. So you can see that this whole system, you can see that we actually do from our own fan all the way to our VFD, our PLC, even our Ethernet switch, our own SCADA, and our own HMI. So with this, we actually provide one full solution for our customer to actually have energy saving, better control. They can actually use the SCADA to actually monitor it easily, so they do not need to be on site to actually go to the VFD to look at the different I would say the different statistics. At the same time, we can also generate the alarm information when the system is abnormal, and they can actually do quick troubleshooting. And the last one I would like to talk about will be the wastewater treatment industry. So this is so what is it that we actually, our key selling point is also the same thing. We coupled with our own control system, with our own power meter and everything, so that the process water COD is much lower than the government regulation. All right, so it actually realizes wastewater treatment and recovery. So we help the customer to reduce operational costs and improve productivity with our VFD drives. So that will be all. We also have this built-in fault diagnostic function. So when there's a system failure, they can actually do quick troubleshooting and improve the efficiency of fault treatment also. And the last one is we help the customer to actually fulfill their corporate social responsibility. So the recycle and reuse after wastewater treatment helps to reduce the discharge of wastewater, which is actually in accordance to the local government's energy saving and emission reduction regulations. Okay, so this is the end of my presentation. At the same time, you can look at, so these are our emails. If you have any questions, you can actually just directly email us. We will give us some time, we'll definitely reply you. And also, we will make these webinar presentations available to the public. So you can actually just use your handphone to actually scan this QR code to actually get the webinar recorded videos, the webinar material, and also some quick start and more information on our other products also, if you have to. So any other questions or anything from your side? Okay, for SCADA Delta, we do have our own SCADA system. So if you are interested in how we actually use our VFD with our PLC and all the way up to the software layer of SCADA, you can check with Charles. I believe he may have his webinar next week. So you can actually join his webinar. He will actually let you know more about our different software capability. So is there any other questions? So if not, I will end this webinar, but at the same time, please help me to fill in the poll if you can, just before you leave. It's not a very long poll, only 2 questions. I would just like to understand the different types, the more about the VFD industry, VFD market in your different respective countries. Yeah. Just hold on. Okay, so for this permanent magnet motor control, just now as I've mentioned, for the C2000 drives, we actually have a PLC function. Remember, you can actually use the can open. This one, if you want to go into the technical details, you can email me and we can actually advise you on this. But at the meanwhile, I can let you know you can actually configure it using our PLC software. Any other questions from your side? Is there any other questions? If not, I will actually end this recording and my email is there. So if there's anything, you can actually just email me directly.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.